Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Today we are talking about the new movie Wicked.
Do we
What
have
is?
do we have to?
Yeah, there you go. That's his review. Thank you for joining us. So, I'm sure many of you have heard of the Broadway musical of the same name, also based on the book. So this, though, is only part one. So if you've seen the Broadway musical or the show, this is Act One
And I'm
in an
assuming
entire movie.
from what I've been reading, because I know nothing about Wicked. Um, the book series is a little more adult, so this
Yeah,
is more from the
the
musical
musical.
Broadway
Yeah,
element than the book series. Um, I want to preface all this because I'm not a huge Wizard of Oz fan. I don't hate the movie. I'm just not a fan. But I do recognize its importance and its, especially for its time and what it does and why it's beloved. I get all that. I did fairly enjoy Oz the Great and Powerful when it came out, so I was like,
yeah.
okay, that's a fun new angle to go with this. And so while I had no real interest in this movie, I still was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in with an open mind. I like when they do new takes on stuff. I don't know anything about the lore of Wicked. I've never seen the musical. I never will. This is the closest I'm ever gonna see. And so I did go in there and say, okay, let's do this. Let's have a good time.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Um, I also will admit that I thought the opening was excellent. It opens, for those that don't know, this is not really a spoiler. It opens kind of at the end of the original, at the end of Wizard of Oz, after the witch is gone, and there's even a cool connection that you could see. I was like, okay, this is actually be kind of fun. And then we get to Munchkinland.
Uh-oh.
So before I move forward with that, I'll let you go with this.
Yeah. So I liked it. Like you said, I like the connection
Now
through
you
it.
love the Wizard of Oz.
I do love The Wizard of Oz. I
Okay.
think it's a great movie. It's one of my favorites that I
Okay.
watch often. And I like that in this they created the world there and connected us through costumes and the crazy quirky costumes of Munchkinland kind of carry on throughout this into the school, because the costume,
Yeah.
every
This
group,
felt to me like a very much of a Harry Potter type world.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
But with
everybody
more
has their own
shine.
little costumes thing. Yeah, so in the world, creation's beautiful, and all these things are wonderful and beautiful. Um,
Have you read the books or seen
nah,
any
I don't
production
know.
of Wicked or
No,
anything? Okay.
I
I
know
didn't
some of the songs because
they're
I mean, how
popular.
do you not know?
I didn't know
Uh,
any of them.
yeah, but you're also not the demographic that would
I
be
get
going
that
to
too.
see this. So, I thought it was fine, and I thought everything was great. Um, it's so long
That it is.
because the
And
entire
slow.
runtime of the show is this, and this is only Act
Is it
One of the
really?
show. Yeah.
How long is this stupid Broadway show? Like 4 hours?
No, I'm telling you, the entire Broadway
Oh,
show is
oh,
this long,
like 3 hours or two and
two
a
and a
half
half
hours?
ish maybe.
Okay.
Because you got an
So they're
hour
stretching
and
out a
an
lot of
intermission and
nonsense.
an hour.
Because the
Yeah,
pacing of this movie is super dull.
yeah.
I was
So
bored for most of the film. I'll just tell you that. I was.
yeah, like so much that he got up. He's like, I'm gonna go buy snacks.
Yeah, I like fell asleep a couple of times. I decided to go get some candy because I was. Sometimes I'll.
Yeah, the entire Broadway show is 245.
I gotcha.
This is what
So
240
when I went to
for
get
just
when I
part
went to
one.
get candy, there was two things there. One, I was bored, but because I was dozing off, I didn't know if maybe I was just tired. And I don't like to blame the movie for me falling asleep in that case first,
Right.
because I'm like, maybe I'm just tired today. I hadn't eaten a lot. We ate at the theater, so I said I'm gonna go get some candy, just get some sugar in me,
Yeah.
what perked me up so I can enjoy the rest of this movie. Um, then I got on the hallway, and I don't know if I told you about this or not.
Mm.
One of the people that was there, I'm not gonna tell you who, but they were standing out there talking to somebody else, and they're like, "Hey, am I missing anything?" I'm like, "Not really." And I'm like, I came out to get some candy, and I don't have any urgency because usually I will haul ass, get whatever haul
Yeah.
ass back in, and that's for any movie. Even if I'm not liking a movie, I had no urgency to get back to this movie. And when I came in, I didn't even ask you what happened. I just sat back down, and
You didn't miss
I
anything.
hope I wasn't being rude. I was trying not to do sighs. I was trying not to be super bored. It hit me a couple of times, I know. So, but what did you think of the film as a whole?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I do think it's a little long. I think there's some pacing things. I think it is drugged out for no reason. But I think your hardcore fans are probably excited because it's an expanded universe or
Yeah,
story
yeah,
for
yeah.
them. Like you're getting to visually see more than you would in a Broadway show. Like the sets are probably grander. There's more in depth about the rooms and the costumings and conversations and all these things, it's expanded. So I think if you're a real fan, you're really excited about it.
Yeah.
And I've seen people like, this is the best musical adaptation ever.
And from that
And I'm like,
standpoint,
okay,
it makes me super happy, because I am all for people when their thing comes out.
Yeah.
I want them to love it. I want it to be successful. I want them to have a great time. If it's not for me, that's fine. I'm not one of these people like, oh, why would you watch that? I've purposely not commented on a bunch of people I know when they say it's a great thing, because your instinct is like, I was bored. I comment, I think, on one friend he was talking about the book difference. I'm like, maybe I wouldn't have been so bored if they had made the adult book version,
Yeah.
But I was so horribly bored that I think I wasn't even 30, 45 minutes of the movie. I think I leaned over to you and I said, I will not be watching part 2.
Yeah.
But that's a lie. I will watch part 2 because I firmly believe that it deserves to be given a chance. But somebody else told me that part 2 is way slower and it's way worse. So I'm like, oh, did not give me hopes. But
yeah, but
I didn't care anything about the music, but that didn't. I'm also not a big musical fan typically, but I do like musicals. There's ones that I think are fantastic, and if I connect with it, I connect with it. This movie, I think it's beautiful to look at. I think Cynthia Erivo, is that how you say it? I never get it right. I thought she was fantastic. I thought her makeup was great. I cannot stand Ariana Grande in any form, in this movie, out of this movie. There's just something about her that annoys me. And I thought she was super hyper annoying in this movie. I know she's supposed to be on some level. She had some funny moments, but as a whole, just anytime she was on screen, I was annoyed by her.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a red flag going in, because I'm not a fan of hers. But again, I've gone into stuff, say, with like early Zac Efron and all these other people that I'm not a fan of, and I have no interest in them, and I'm like, I'm wrong. In this case, I'm still not wrong. I came up with just still not being a fan of hers. But again, I love that fans are connecting with it. I love that it's making the money it deserves to make. I love that the people that are supposed to like this movie are loving it.
Yeah.
Because you also have the people that are like, this is their thing and they don't want to mess up.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, just like we are with some of our other things or comic things or whatever. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad people are enjoying it. I'm glad it's doing well.
I also purposely did not write a review for this movie, because since you saw it and you enjoyed it, I know we've been accused of liking everything before. And I thought, you know what? The original plan for our website was to have his and Mr. and Mrs. reviews for everything we did. And time just didn't allow that to happen. So we kind of ditched that. So my plan, I had a scathing review to write about all my problems with this film. And then you wrote your review that was a good review. You mentioned your problems with it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to shit on this movie, because it deserves to have its fans. And I know my opinion doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. But my review would probably come off and I'm just a hater on this movie. And I'm like, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
So I posted one comment to everybody that I was bored to tears. That's my review. I'm glad everybody else loves it.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to be toxic about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve any purpose.
No.
Now had you not gone to see it, then I would have wrote the review exactly the way I thought about it. But I decided to take the high road, and it's not necessary. I don't like when people are toxic about something I like. Trying to put more positivity out there. I'm not going to lie and say I had a good time, but it was a struggle.
Would you have left if I wasn't there?
No, because I don't leave movies.
I know.
I think in every movie,
you would have just left.
I probably would have said, no, I think every movie that you sit down to watch, I've turned movies off at home, but I will typically go back and finish them. I usually won't review a movie unless I watch it all the way through. Because every so often you got that movie, those last 30 minutes
finally
brings everything together, and you're like, that's why I was so annoyed, but you just did it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's it, I guess.
No. Were you going to struggle through the second half?
Sounds like I'm going to struggle through it from what people are telling me already, but okay, so let's talk about one of my bigger issues. And I know why it exists, but I don't like it. And I probably sound insensitive. And so I may have a community attack me, but I'm willing to take it. We get to Munchkin Land, and there's no Munchkins. Now, I apologize if Munchkin is considered derogatory. My mother's best friend is a dwarf. That doesn't make it okay if that's derogatory. So I am sympathetic. I don't believe in making fun of people or like that or whatever. But I didn't ever see that as derogatory. This was just the Munchkin Land. It was meaning these were the little people in this village. And I understand why they didn't do that, but I think I have two places on this. And if anybody's a small person, or if anybody has, or you can explain to me. Other than, I know you said you looked up the director and they decided
They
to go
wanted it
with
to be more of a culture and not a size.
Yeah, and I think the size is part of that culture. And I see it as like this was an opportunity to give all the little people in Hollywood that are struggling to get work, complain they don't get work. They could have hired them all, right? Um, I also understand the insensitive nature that it might, maybe there's a stigma there, because I know there's certain things you can say now and certain things you can't, and I don't want any group to feel that they're being persecuted or being racist, to get whatever the word you want to look.
Yeah.
And so had they done what you said the director mentioned, I could have seen that, but I didn't feel like I saw that at all.
Mm-mm.
Like supposedly like the pointy shoes, the red hair, there's like one main Munchkin guy who's kind of yeah, and I believe he becomes the Tin Man from what I've read and researching stuff. But they're supposed to be, he's what the Munchkin people are supposed to look like. And when I watched through the Munchkin dance numbers, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see a unification of one look of people, right? So to me, that felt like, then why just call it something else then?
Yeah.
And then I think it made matters worse in a stupid way is when we get to the Emerald City. It's Emerald City, right? Yeah. Get to Emerald City. There's 5 or 6 little people walking around. I'm like, but they're not in Munchkin Land, That was not so much that I wanted little people in the movie, or I think why not? I think it disconnects it from the original movie.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to believe, even though I know it's retconning its own thing, if we're going to believe that this is the same universe, then what are we going to say, that over time everybody shrunk?
No, they got bigger.
Or we're supposed to just ignore it? You know what I mean?
Maybe so.
So, no, because this is the past. So in the original movie, they were all small people. So
no, but when she arrives there, it's after the witch is dead, so it's that current.
Oh yeah, yeah. Period. So they're all suddenly grown up when the witch died. Is that what it is? The witch had put a magic spell and made everybody small. So when she died, they all grew up tall.
Yeah.
I honestly thought they were going to pull Lord of the Rings. I was like, okay, we're seeing all these dance numbers. And they hired these singers and performers, and she comes down. She's going to be taller than everybody. She's smaller than half the Munchkins, and I'm like, oh. So I was already put off the movie at that point.
Yeah, at the very beginning. You're
right at the beginning, right as I had hopes because of what they did.
Like, there are no Munchkins in Munchkin.
I said that kind of loud, didn't I?
You did.
But I was like,
that's okay.
I love the opening scene, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to work. I'm really going to enjoy where they're going with this. And then I'm like, the hell are the Munchkins? What is this crap? So then I'm just annoyed. Yeah. And then, of course, like I said, the pacing got me. I didn't connect with any of the music. It's like, I love The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. And the music I connect with. I didn't connect with anything in this movie. Their music was annoying me. The dancing was annoying me. The movie annoyed me.
Yeah.
And I was just bored.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And it wasn't just because of the Munchkins.
It was the whole thing.
There's just, for whatever reason, I didn't connect with it. It wasn't for me, but I'm so happy that it's connecting and the audience is supposed to connect.
People are liking it. All right. We're moving on.
Check out, if you one of the people that haven't checked it out, you can check out Wicked in theaters now.
All right. Tell me about.
I do want to say that we talked about, I love that they didn't promote it in any of the trailers or anything else as part 1, unless you don't know that already, which most of the fans knew.
Yeah.
But it's not until you watch it at the theater and then it says part 1 and then it's to be continued.
Yeah.
But none of the promotion materials ever said part 1.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know it was a part 1 until like 2 weeks before the movie came out. It said he's looking to make a second part of it. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Okay. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
Where's my thumb?
Yeah. Thumbs up or thumbs down.
Anyway.
All right.
Are you excited for the sequel?
Yeah, I'm ready to watch the sequel. I'll watch it again. It's fine.
Good.
I'm good with it. It's not like the greatest thing ever to me, but I'm not like that. So, okay, moving on. Tell me about the giveaways.
We got all kinds of giveaways. Some old stuff, some new stuff. We got some 4K copies of the original Terminator.
I'll be back.
We got some 4K copies of Alfred Hitchcock's iconic film North by Northwest.
Okay.
We've got 4K copies of one of the greatest comedies of all time, Blazing Saddles. Still laugh out loud every time I watch this movie. I'm sure you hear me when I'm watching it. Definitely a movie that would not get made today.
Yeah.
And I think it's ironic that some people think that Blazing Saddles is so racist, and the reality of it, it's poking at the absurdity of racism
Mm,
and all those stupid people. The Beast Within, a new twist on
Liked it.
vampire
no,
mythology. I mean, werewolf mythology.
Yes.
Sorry.
it's good.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's Trap, which is a mystery thriller / concert film for his daughter, and copies of Beetlejuice. It was way better than any deserved to be.
It's really good. All right, that's it for us today. See you later, alligators.
Peace out, dog.